Hello, my dear students. Today I am going to talk about how to teach the four skills: reading, speaking, writing, and listening. So let's start with how to teach reading. So actually, there are three stages in teaching reading. So the first stage is pre-reading. In this stage, the teacher starts by contextualizing the topic of reading process by using proverbs, quotes, picture, video or short discussion, and so on. Then move to explain vocabulary items that students may encounter in the text. After that, the teacher asks for their predictions about the topic of the text they are going to read. The second stage, while reading, so teacher gives the text to student and asks them to read it silently and check their predictions. This process called skimming. Then teacher asks them to read again to answer the comprehension questions. This process called scanning. And the third stage, post reading. So in this stage, a teacher may open a debate or a role play discussion, ask them to summarize the text or give their opinion about the topic. So here the teacher can integrate many skills like writing, speaking, and listening. So let's move to how to teach speaking. So there are three stages in teaching speaking. So the first stage, sitting up. In this stage, teacher provides students with all the input information that they will need in the second stage. For example, the topic and some information about it, in addition to what they should do and so on. So, and the second stage, speaking practice. So here the teacher divides students into groups and assign them speaking activity. The role of the teacher here is to give his feedbacks on their performances. And the third stage, so is called feedback. I mean, students perform their work in front of the teacher and their classmates. So the teacher provides students with some checklists to correct their friends' errors and mistakes while they are performing. The role of the teacher here is to give his feedback on their performances. So what about teaching writing? So how to teach writing? So there are 5 stages in teaching writing. So the first stage is called brainstorming. So a teacher asks his student about their prior knowledge about the topic using mind up, spider map, charts, asking WH questions, and so on. The second stage is called planning. So the teacher and students identify the plan or outline. The third stage is called drafting. The teacher gives the student the chance to write their first drafts, writing all what comes to their mind. The fourth stage is called revising. So teacher gives the student a checklist to revise the content, meaning of their production, the ideas if they are organized or not, and the fifth stage is called publishing. So students read their productions and they may put it in their portfolios. So let's move to how to teach listening. So there are 3 stages in teaching listening. So teaching listening for the first stage, that is called pre-listening, and the teacher starts by contextualizing the topic using proverbs or short discussions and so on, and ask them for their predictions about the topic of listening. So the second stage is called while listening. I mean, students get their first listening in order to check their predictions, then get second listening in order to answer the comprehension questions, and third listening for discussing and giving their opinions and so on. So the third stage, that is called post listening. In this stage, the teacher can ask his student to give their opinions about the topic of listening, or summarize the main idea of the topic, or any activity that is appropriate to the listening task. So let's see now how to teach the language components, grammar, function, and vocabulary. So there are 3 stages of teaching language components: presentation, practice, and production. So for the presentation, this stage is divided into 4 sub-stages. Contextualizing, so the teacher gives students a dialogue or any text with 2 or 3 comprehension questions to read and answer. Observation, from the answers of students on the comprehension question, teachers elicit the structure and expressions, then write them on the board. Isolation, teacher asks students to read again and highlight other structures and expressions, then move to explain the form and the use of the target structure. Comprehension check, the teacher examines to what extent the students have understood the target structure. And the practice. So in the practice there are 2 types of practice. So controlled practice in this exercises accept only one correct answer. So like matching, because the aim is to familiarize students with the DOM of the target structure. And there is free practice, so exercise that accept different answers. Always start with controlled, then free practice. So let's move to production. Production, the teacher asks the student to do a role play or write a short paragraph using the learned structure.